At Signode, safety and customer satisfaction are top priorities. Our plants carefully design, manufacture, assemble, and test Signode power strapping equipment to ensure that it meets strict performance requirements. When you purchase a Signode strapping system, our sales and service representatives train your personnel to use and maintain the equipment safely and correctly. This video will help educate you about personal protective equipment, general housekeeping, and explain important safety procedures for Signode's MHT80 and Z20 strapping stations, as well as monorails. It's extremely important that equipment operators wear protective clothing to prevent hand, eye, foot, and other injuries. Signode recommends that operators wear protective gloves and steel-toe safety shoes, and that both operators and bystanders wear safety glasses with side protectors. Some brick plants may also require that operators wear hard hats and hearing protection. Maintaining a clean, uncluttered work area will also help prevent injuries. Be sure that the strap path from the dispenser to the chute system does not interfere with traffic patterns. Also, be sure that the dispensers are working properly so that the strap does not spill out onto the floor. Always dispose of used strapping in designated disposal or recycling containers. All operators and service personnel must be fully trained before operating or working on Signode equipment. Only personnel who are trained and authorized specifically to work on electrical equipment should attempt to service the strapping system's electrical components. Signode conducts comprehensive operation and service training during installation, which also includes an operation, parts, and safety manual with every strapping system. If, after completing training and reviewing the manual, you have any questions regarding proper operating procedures, ask your Signode service representative for assistance. Signode power strapping systems are equipped with machine guarding to help prevent injuries and safety labels to alert you to possible hazards. Be sure that all safety labels and machine identification plates are in place and legible. If you need to replace any labels, contact your Signode service representative. Precautions should be taken to ensure that all electrical components are working properly. Keep panel covers closed to prevent operators from touching live electrical wires and to protect the equipment from dust and debris. Check illuminated controls for burned-out bulbs, replacing bulbs as necessary. Check all emergency stop, power disconnect switches, and emergency pull cords to be sure that they're functioning properly. Also, verify that equipment interlocks are connected to the monorail system and to all other interrelated equipment. When used with a monorail, a Signode strapping station typically includes either the MHT80 strapping head or the Z20 strapping modules, main and cross strapping stations, a main electrical cabinet and control console, and operator push-button stations. The main control panel and control console for the monorail system are provided by an original equipment manufacturer, or OEM. Your controls may be provided by a different OEM and function differently than these. It is the responsibility of the OEM to provide the necessary equipment interlocks and controls. A pull cord emergency stop system, comprised of master disconnect switches with red flags, yellow pull cords, and red strobe lights, enables operators to shut off power to the monorail system and strapping stations in an emergency. The vertical cords also obstruct operators from entering crush points between the stationary beams and moving buckets by automatically shutting off power when bumped. When the cord is bumped or pulled, the flag lowers, indicating the zone in which the emergency stop was activated. Once the emergency has been resolved, power can be restored by raising the flag and resetting the controls. Always be sure that the pull cords are tightly strung, minimizing the amount of force required to activate the emergency stop. Also, be sure that the cords are repositioned properly if the monorail is modified or the flow direction reversed. Red strobe lights attached to the master disconnect switches usually begin flashing before the monorail system begins to index, indicating to operators that the monorail is about to begin moving. The lights continue flashing until after movement ceases, or, depending upon your plant's policy, these lights may flash when a pull cord is activated, indicating that an emergency has occurred. It's important that all personnel understand your plant's policy and know how to react when the red lights are flashing. To service the monorail system, follow lockout-tagout procedures. Then enter the system at the safest accessible location. Be certain that all personnel are clear of the monorail system before restoring power to the equipment. To replace the edge protection, staple the beginning of the new roll to the tail of the existing edge protection to eliminate refeeding. If refeeding is necessary, push the station's stop button and follow lockout-tagout procedures. To remove the Signode MHT80 strapping head, follow lockout-tagout procedures for the monorail and strapping systems. To remove the head, unplug the 3 quick disconnect plugs. Pull the strapping out of the head. Remove the 2 frame cradle bolts. Pull the head forward. Unscrew the hold down and lift it out of the cradle using a chain hoist capable of lifting 500 pounds. To service the MHT80 strapping head, you will need electrical power. Put the monorail controls into service mode and remove the key. Shut off air pressure to the head carriage return cylinders. Pull the head forward. Pull strapping out of the head. Loosen and lower the strapping head hold down. Rotate the head and insert the locking pin. Then perform service. Signode's strapping station featuring the Z20 modular strapping heads includes a main and cross-strapping station, an electrical cabinet, and operator push-button stations. When performing any maintenance on the cross-strapper, including removing the heads, drain the air supply. Failure to drain the air could cause the system to index, which could result in serious injury. To change out a tensioning module with a spare unit, begin by putting the controls into the service mode and remove the key. To remove the tensioning module, loosen the hand knob and lift the loading lever. Remove the strap tube and loop the strap back into the feed tube to avoid the strap reversing out through the tube and back into the dispenser. Disconnect the electrical quick connect cord. Release the pivoting latch and with 2 hands remove the tensioning module. To replace the tensioning module, align the 4 rollers into the tray. Align the module in the tray, allowing for the button head cap screw to pass through the widest point of the center slot in the back of the tray. Push the module forward until the pivoting latch locks onto the top of the module. Refeed the strap. Tighten the hand knob. Reconnect the electrical quick connect cord. Replace the key and turn the service mode off. Press the cycle buttons to turn on the machine. Powering up may take a few moments. To change out a sealing module with a spare unit, begin by putting the controls into the service mode and remove the key. To remove the sealing module, disconnect the electrical quick connect cord. Loosen the locking handle. With 2 hands, remove the sealing module. To replace the sealing module, align all 4 of the module's guide rollers onto the mounting brackets. Firmly push the sealer module forward until it has been fully seated in the cradle. Tighten the locking handle on top of the module to secure it in place for operation. Reconnect the electrical quick connect cord. Replace the key and turn the service mode off. Press the cycle buttons to turn on the machine. Powering up may take a few moments. Now that you know how to safely operate and service your Signode strapping machine, you should be aware of some common misuses of the equipment that can cause serious injuries. The following are examples of how not to use power strapping equipment and the monorail system. Never climb into or in between the monorail buckets unless all power is locked out and tagged out. Do not stick body parts beneath the strapping head at any time. Never climb into the operation area of the machine unless all power is locked out and tagged out. Never climb into the operation area of the machine or in between the load and the indexing head unless all power is locked out and tagged out. Follow lockout-tagout procedures when performing maintenance or service on any of the strapping stations or monorail systems. Never service, clean, or lean on the strapping stations, monorail system, or the brick cube when the power is on. Do not change the preset logic in the controller without the approval of Signode Electrical Engineering. Doing so could cause serious personal injury or machine damage. By avoiding these dangerous practices and always following the safety guidelines for clothing, housekeeping, and machine maintenance, you will reduce the chance of injury while working on a Signode strapping station and your monorail system. Be sure that all operators view this video prior to using this equipment.